Imagine a place that is dedicated to understanding how the physical world works, to determining the principles that govern the smallest units of matter and energy, that organize the phenomena we see around us every day, principles that help us to create new tools to improve our lives, an establishment where work is done to unlock the mysteries of the largest objects that we can imagine in the cosmos, our sun and other stars, galaxies, the entire universe, a place that helps us to understand our place in the universe. Imagine also that the scientists who come to this place from all over the world have no obligations or duties while there, except to spend their time as they see fit, to pursue the answers to their questions. For 50 years, the Aspen Center for Physics has run a summer program that creates just this kind of place, a creative, unstructured environment for the world's finest physicists to come and work. They come for the quiet, the solitude, the chance to share ideas, to learn and discuss new ideas, concepts, and techniques. They come to be inspired. The Physics Center began in 1962 on what was then the grounds of the Aspen Institute for Humanistic Studies, after three key people came together to make the idea a reality.
George Stranahan had been coming here hiking and fishing and mountain climbing, and he was a grad student in physics and wanted to talk physics and needed physicists. Some friends put him in touch with Bob Craig, who was president of the Institute at the time. Bob said, well, I think we can do something, because he wanted to bring together the whole person, physical, mental, everything. Then George's advisor back at Carnegie Mellon knew Mike Cohen, and Mike was trying to do a tent city for physicists in the summer. And so he put George in touch with Mike. So Bob Craig provided the place, and Mike Cohen provided the physicists. And this all happened within 1 year.
Back then, that quiet northwest corner of the town, called the Aspen Meadows, was the home to the Aspen Institute of Humanistic Studies and the Aspen Music Festival, two organizations dedicated to the pursuit of ideas and enrichment of culture in the surrounding beautiful landscape. A center that focused on the pursuit of scientific knowledge was a natural addition. The center opened in 1962 in a new building funded by the Stranahan Family Foundation in the southernmost part of the Institute's grounds. And that first summer program was attended by 42 physicists, nurtured by the beautiful surroundings, supportive neighboring organizations, and the generous support of the town, businesses, and citizens of Aspen. The center soon became a success. It attracted many of the world's top physicists to visit and carry out their research, and over the years, the center received support from the National Science Foundation, NASA, and the Department of Energy. By 1968, the center became an autonomous organization, getting ownership of its land in 1992. Generous donations by members of the Aspen community and various foundations allowed the campus to expand over the years. Together, Stranahan Hall, Beta Hall, Smart Hall, and the Flug Forum provide enough office space and other facilities for up to 86 physicists to work at the center at any one time. Over 500 physicists from around the world visit during the course of a 16-week summer program of activity, coming to work on their own or together. They may also participate in themed workshops on a wide variety of topics. Members of the Aspen community regularly engage with the center as well. For example, visiting physicists participate in a series of lectures and discussions for the general public. These and other activities sponsored by the center have become regular fixtures on the town of Aspen's calendar.
It's very intellectually refreshing to be there because there are no committees, there's no graduate students knocking on your door. So it's a place where your brain gets stirred.
The range of people who come make it 100% sure that you're going to have an amazingly stimulating interaction with any number of physicists in your field and in other fields. And you're going to learn a lot, they're going to learn a lot. And it's just the best place to go to make progress with your research. There are other places in the world where physicists gather during the summer, but most of them have a much more of an enforced conference feel about them. One of the things about the Aspen Center for Physics and the summer programs that I think really helped to make it the success it has been is the informal aspect to the way the scientists there undertake their research. They're not all called out, to a meeting every day where you have to sit and listen to what other people have done. It's much more about discovering the problems that other people are having with their research. The reaching out to other scientists for help when you're having problems.
Aspen is special because it brings people together from all over the world and for long periods of time where they have no other distractions. Physics itself is a very social activity. We are continually exchanging ideas, sharing ideas, criticizing others, looking for criticism of our own ideas. It's partly because the questions we often ask are so difficult that we need help.
It's a place to foster new ideas. I've gotten lots of new collaborations going with people at the Aspen Center for Physics, mostly just because there's this time and space to really just concentrate on physics.
It's a combination of the meeting all your buddies and people whom you've heard about, but now you get to meet. You can talk with them on an equal basis. There's I'd say none or very little rank pulling of any kind. So I'd say that there's no place in the world I've been where there's a better atmosphere for doing physics.
Scientifically, the attraction of Aspen is that the best researchers from all over the world gather there. And so it gives you a unique opportunity to interact with the top people who are doing research in areas related to your own, and also to learn about research that's going on in other fields.
And during the summertime, it's much more relaxed, so the idea is that we collaborate with our colleagues in a very relaxed setting in the nature, so we enjoy talking to each other, starting projects together, and discussing different ideas.
So the thing that it lets you do is to have ideas, because there are different kinds of physicists. Some of them can sit in a room, a monastic cell all by themselves, and come up with great ideas. But others, most others, myself included, we really get ideas by talking to other physicists. And sometimes what happens is that I say something stupid, and my conversationalist says something stupid, but then together, somehow this thing sparks something really smart.
I think one key difference for the Aspen Center for Physics is this interdisciplinary kind of broadening your horizons kind of focus. For example, when you're roomed in an office, they'll put you with somebody who doesn't work in your same field at all. And so when you start to say, hey, what do you do? After a half an hour, you can find a common ground, at least techniques-wise, and sometimes have a whole new perspective on your own work.
The center is a treasured retreat for the scientists, away from the daily bustle of their usual workplaces.
When you're at your home institution, it's very difficult to focus on a piece of research for more than, I would say, half an hour without something happening, some phone call, just some interruption. But there are times when you do just need to sit down. In Aspen, you can do that. You can either sit in your office and people will actually respect that you want to be by yourself, or there's all these little corners round campus, seats under the trees where you can sit and be by yourself and just focus on your research for hours, which is a very unusual experience at home. And it's really the Aspen experience, to just sit and think.
This process is actually very fragile. Because as I said, it's two stupid ideas can come together and they can make an intelligent idea. And in the middle of those two stupid ideas, if you get a phone call, and the whole process falls apart and you're left with nothing.
Life and work at the center are greatly enriched by recreational activities. The physicists often take advantage of Aspen's spectacular surroundings to invigorate and inspire themselves.
People go on hikes, they talk physics on the hikes, they can go on mushroom trips, they go on raft trips. You're enjoying yourself, but you're working. Physicists don't turn their brain off at 5 o'clock. It keeps going.
The things I enjoy doing are hiking, bicycling. Other people also do fishing, and the more adventuresome ones might even do things like skydiving or rock climbing.
I love hiking and just taking walks around on the trails around the center.
I like to cook, and I like to hike.
Hikes, some biking.
Aspen is, for me, is a place where you go hiking.
I know there are people who go to the Aspen Center and they love the music there. Music dentist right next door.
I've also tried to fish a bit, but not very successfully and very frustrating. So it's mostly hiking.
I like to go up, well, I don't like to go up the Ute Trail. I force myself to go up the Ute Trail every few days. The scenery is just unbelievable. You can either just enjoy the scenery or you can discuss physics.
Since longer stays are encouraged at the center, there is a long tradition of including families in the day-to-day activities.
So this is my son. He's 5 months old, and he's one of the youngest participants in this physics program, I guess.
It is not unusual to find parent and child keeping each other company while each is at work on their own projects. Each week, there's a barbecue and family picnic, creating more opportunities for interactions. Weather permitting, the picnic is usually followed by the traditional volleyball game. The last 50 years have seen the Aspen Center for Physics become a focal point for research that has enriched the scientific world and beyond. What changes will the next 50 years bring for the center? And will they affect its core mission?
I think the changes will reflect the changing demographics of the physics community worldwide. We're continually looking at who's coming to Aspen, who could we try and get to come to Aspen.
I hope it doesn't lose this free-form atmosphere of having lots of time to talk to other physicists.
All you really need to do is to get the people together. So as long as they continue to attract and bring together the best people, and as long as science continues to be vibrant, which I have no doubt that it will change. The questions we ask will change, but the nature of the activity won't. I mean, scientists will be scientists.
I just love the place. You know, it's where I've had my best ideas, I think. And, you know, what can I say better than that?